Today on Dice to Pixels, we're going to be talking about the Epic Game Store and pirating your own game. Let's start with Epic.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't see a whole lot of details when I just read the headline, but Epic Game Store is coming as a mobile app now. So I guess all the games that were pulled previously will somewhat be available, which will be interesting because I can't remember the name of it, but there was one game that Chad and I were loving a lot. And then when Epic went through their whole thing with Apple.
Perfect. That was great.
Is there a better way to, it's a good way to describe it.
Yep. That's good.
But yeah, there was a great game, and I guess I imagine Fortnite and a bunch of other games were pulled from the Apple Store when they went through their whole drama, and maybe we'll be able to get them back again, so to play on mobile.
Well, you won't. I'm just reading the press release here. So today, Epic Game Store is available. This is the 16th, so this is actually when we're filming on the 16th. Today, Epic Game Store is available for download on iPhones in the European Union and Android devices worldwide.
Well, fart.
So for us Apple users, it will not be available immediately. They do say that their intention is to bring it to worldwide for Apple as well, but reasons not clear. I'm sure it says more in here somewhere, but it's not clear. Laws, regulations, stupidity.
I imagine you're probably also looking at a gaming website, so it's loaded up with fucking ads. So
no, I'm actually on the Epic site. Yeah, I went to the source for this one because I was like, this is going to be full of junk misinformation. I think so. They say a couple things. They say right now the install process is a bitch. They're going to work on that, but just because they're like the device settings look horrifying, and like they call them like scare settings and stuff, presumably because it needs access at a pretty low level in order to be able to install things, right? But Android, it looks like it's available. And then I'm wondering if the European Union, it might say more about this, but I don't see it. I'm trying to skim it and talk about it at the same time. It looks like in the EU, because of the Digital Markets Act, like the EU has been fighting against Apple to reduce the walled garden nature of their system. They're able to launch it in the European Union now, and they're still in legal process for the rest of the world. So, but it's going to be like from what they're saying, if they're calling this out in their own press release, I'm guessing when it comes up, it's going to be like, this wants to use literally all of the information on your phone.
Ew, no thank you.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, that's horrible. On the other hand, well, of course it does, right? It needs to be able to install games on your phone. It's got to have pretty fucking impressive permissions. So, fun.
Yeah,
but
it's something.
They're working on it.
Yep.
They're still working. So, good for them.
Yep.
Tell me about this other thing.
Yeah, so today, the 16th, is the 2-year anniversary of a game that came out called Rollerdrome. If you don't remember what it was, it's a shooter game where you're also on roller skates. It looks very, very cool graphically, and the premise is actually fun. I know I would be terrible at it, but it was developed by Roll7, and they were bought out afterwards by Take-Two. And none of the devs that made the game itself are still on the team, and one of them is recommending that rather than buying the game, you pirate it. Yeah,
I'm seeing that. There's at least a couple of Reddit threads about it that have most been removed because you're not allowed to talk about piracy on those subreddits. But I guess this person doesn't understand how intellectual property works.
No.
But okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't work at the construction firm that built that building anymore, so torch it. It's like, that's not how these things work.
No.
I'm assuming there's bad blood there. It's not just that they
Yeah.
don't work there. It's that
Yeah.
they got fired or otherwise. Still not an excuse to pirate the game,
Yeah.
but that's fun.
Well,
That's
apparently
amusing.
the entire team that worked on the game no longer works with Rule 7. And it's kind of questionable whether or not Rule 7 has even been shuttered by Take-Two. Like, they're being evasive about it, I guess, about actually answering it, but like it's basically null and void at this point.
Yeah, it very much sounds like they got shut down with extreme prejudice, and thus there's a serious backlash going. Which is, like, I get it. I get why people are angry, but at the same time, the fact that you built a game and released it and then you don't work there anymore, I don't see how that equates to go and steal this game. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Especially since it's like 2 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could understand if you like finished the game and then they fired you like right after you were done. I'd be like,
yeah.
But it sounds like the studio, well, whether the studio was succeeding or not, they got pruned, which sucks. Absolutely sucks. It's been happening a lot in the last while. But I don't quite draw. I don't see the line between that and going by this. It's amusing though. It's a good story. It'll be fun for stoking outrage on Reddit and Twitter and X. And Twitter and X are separate services, by the way.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. I've been getting a lot of, I don't know why. Like, I know when I'm on the Dice to Pixels account, I know why I see these things, but on my personal account, I've been seeing a lot of game developer talk. Like, there's like game dev Twitter, I guess you would call it. And it's almost exclusively people talking, like individual developers, not just indie, but like individual, talking about, I'm rewriting my game for the 4th time and stuff like that. And it's like, y'all need to stop being idiots and just release the fucking thing.
Why are they rewriting it so much?
I think because these are people that are doing it as a hobby and they actually don't care about releasing the game. They just find it fun to hack on a game, which is fine. But then it's not really game dev. It's just hobby coding. And I mean, every developer in the world does hobby coding. That's not really a thing. But if you're trying to develop a game, maybe stop dicking around and actually release it.
Yeah.
It's not like the bar is especially high for releasing a game these days.
I mean, you can put anything on Steam now, it seems like, so. Or PlayStation, really, apparently.
Yeah, it's been getting I mean, I'm good with more options.
Yeah.
But it's definitely the quality bar you'd expect it to be a touch higher.
No. Yeah. They don't like advertise the not so great games the same way Steam does, because you can just like find them easily on the new for you page on Steam, but there is a lot of crappy games on PlayStation.
Yeah, well, I think game dev at this point, because the barrier of entry is so low, I think game dev is basically the same as, you know, websites and everything else at this point. It's 95% plus of them are garbage.
Yeah.
And then there's the 5%, and not just garbage like I don't like them garbage, but like garbage as like they're bad. They aren't finished. Like the one game that I pulled from Steam that was trying to be like a Galaga type game. But it literally had one speed, one enemy, and all they did was move in a circle. And it's like, this isn't a game. This is like,
that sounds like a game that would be on like a Nokia phone or something.
Yeah, like I don't think it met the requirements of being called a game. And so it was one of those things, like, this could be a half decent game if it, you know, was a game, if you like added some variability, maybe a power up or two, you know. But, you know, 95% of games I think are in that same category, where whether they tried to be whether they tried to make something cool or just didn't try at all, they just didn't finish it.
Yeah.
They half-assed it. They recoded it 4 times instead of just finishing the fucking thing. And so I think a huge number of the games are that people just eventually decide, fuck it, I'm clicking go instead of actually just finishing it and then releasing it.
It's like you're arguing both sides of the same argument almost.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, I'm like, don't prevent me from downloading things. Like if somebody wants to release that, great. It would be nice if there was some I don't know, if it was your first game ever, you had to like do a mandatory trial or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something so that I could like open it up and see if it's a fucking game before I spend $3 or $4 on it or whatever. At the same time, most of them are cheap enough that it's like, I'll give it a shot and we'll see.
I mean, if you wanted to be a real ass about it, you play it for less than 2 hours and get a refund.
And you know what? Technically, I probably could have in this case. Like, I think the game that I got was like $1, so I'm like, I'm not gonna refund that. I left a review that wasn't even especially negative. It was just like, this isn't a finished game. But I left notes for the dev saying like, if you add these things, which are very simple to add, you could do it today. It would be like playable.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's value in that too, which is why I'm like, don't prevent people. If somebody wants to release garbage, let them.
It's their garbage.
Right.
They are probably proud of their garbage.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the only ways you get better is to kick something, because it's very easy. And this is why I'm always seeking like honest feedback from people with anything that I do. Is like, it's way too easy to do something and kick it out to people and be like, hey, is this any good? And just have yes men around you and everything saying like, yeah, or think yourself that it's really good, and not until you release it find out like, oh no, this is a steaming pile of shit that nobody wants. And so there's a learning there that's valuable. So I'm totally for everybody being able to release anything they want. I also think that when there's money changing hands, it behooves the platforms to ensure that people are getting something for their money.
Yeah.
And that, I think, you know, I said it offhand, but actually having thought about it for a second, I think saying like, hey, if this is your first game, you have to include a trial version.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable, unless it's free, in which case that's the trial. So you're fine.
Yeah.
That actually seems like a pretty reasonable way to go about it. And then you'd still have it there, but you know, you could check it out and see if it's a game before you download it. Because there was another one I downloaded, which was searching for Bigfoot, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I remember. You were so excited for that one.
Yeah, and to be fair, I haven't checked it out again. It might actually have like gotten playable at this point. I should check it out again. But when I downloaded it, it had just been released, and it was like, it barely ran on my fairly high-end gaming machine, and it was not, the elements were there, but it was very, very, very poorly done. And it's like, this could be cool, but it's currently not.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like a simple trial would have exposed that. It's like, okay, this doesn't fucking run. This very simple game does not run on like a fairly powerful gaming computer. I won't waste my time with it right now.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a good middle ground.
Yeah. What I always find really interesting, and I've come across it a couple times, is on Steam, and I imagine other platforms have it as well, but I just haven't seen it there, is people that release games for free, but they're really good and well-made games. I don't know if they're student games or whatnot, but it's always impressive when it's like this. I have got lots of entertainment out of this. This has been a nice game, and it was free.
Yeah, it is very interesting when you see people that do that, and sometimes they have other ways of making money. Like Dwarf Fortress is one that the guy behind it worked on it for, fuck, I don't even know, like 20 years or something.
Oh, wow.
It was always just a text-based game, never charged for it, never anything, updated all the time. It's honestly one of the most complex games that exists. But never charged a dime. There was donations, like you could donate to him, and I guess he basically was working on it full time is my understanding based on the donations, because just so many people played it,
Wow.
and they were like, "Fuck it, I'll kick like a few bucks every
Mm-hmm.
now and then," and
Mm-hmm.
that adds up. More recently, in the last 2 years or so, maybe three, there's an actual graphical version that got released to Steam.
Yeah, that's how I know it is the graphic version.
Yeah, so Dwarf Fortress, the actual game behind that, the logic behind that was started. I'm looking this up. 18 years ago.
Wow.
2006 was the public alpha, and it was done by Tam and Zach Adams. And it's just been refined over literal decades to be this amazingly in-depth game. And then they made a visual version of it, which I think is where Zach came in. I don't know though, so don't quote me on any of this. But I believe that, I think it was Tam, and he was like the guy behind it. I'm pretty sure it's a guy. And then, but the graphical version they finally like charged for. Now I think they're a multi-millionaire, but because it sold pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for years and years and years and years, and the text one is still free, by the way. It's just the graphical one that they charge for.
That's cool. Yeah, I knew about the graphic one. I didn't know there was a text-based one.
Yeah, for so long. Yeah, like I played it decades ago with my friends.
That's awesome.
And it was like exactly the same game. I mean, it's been updated many times, but it just without the graphics, just all text-based, all ASCII art.
That's awesome.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, that's like that other game that was released earlier this year.
Very
that's
similar.
all ASCII.
Yep.
I want to get back into that game. That game was actually really, really good.
Moon River? Is that what it was called?
Moon something.
I think it was Moon River. Bear with us. Yeah. Nope, maybe not.
No, not
whatever.
Moonlighter.
It was very good.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. It was a very much more like high frame rate, I guess is how I would describe it. But still very cool. Very, very well done. Crazy well done. Moon Ring. That's yeah. I should try that again because it was very cool.
Oh geez, it wasn't earlier this year. It was last year that
I was gonna say yeah.
Oh boy. What is time?
Fucking time dilation.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's been 4 years since the first lockdowns at this point.
Ugh.
I know, right? Like it doesn't really feel like that. No. Anyways, yeah. Anyone who's willing to put that much time into something and release it for free is super cool by me. I just hope that they find a way to get paid for their work somehow. Yeah. Because like arguably everyone who makes YouTube videos is the same, right? Like they are making it and it is available for free, with the exception of like Patreon exclusives and stuff. But like the Y-Files, for instance, they put in a huge amount of effort and they release it for free. They get paid through sponsorships and everything, but
also their viewers.
It's available free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I hope that people who release stuff for free do get paid somehow through donations or otherwise. But you gotta respect someone who's willing to put in all that work and then not charge for it. Yeah. At least not directly. Which is different than the people who make a mobile game and then load it up with fucking advertisements. That's not. No, I understand and I respect that they want to get paid. That is not my preferred way to go about it. Nope. BitLife. I've been watching Oompaville, old videos of his, and there's this game called BitLife, and it's sort of like you can make ridiculous choices. You basically you start with a new baby and you live for 100 years.
Okay, I've seen so many of those ads. Right. Yeah.
Or until you die. And it's pretty in depth. Like you can end up running for like the president of the United States or becoming a heroin addicted crypto bro. It's kind of neat, but it's swimming in fucking ads. I hate that. I can't do it. I even looked and tried to see if there was an ad-free version, but it didn't really look like there was. I'm like, charge me $2 for it and make it ad-free.
Right. But I like your game enough, I'm gonna do it.
I would have bought it on the I like just from watching one of the videos. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the sort of thing that I could mindlessly like pick away at on the sofa when Danielle's watching a movie I'm not that interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I would have bought it right then and there. If it was like $2.99 for an ad-free version, sold.
Yep.
But it didn't look. Now maybe there's an in-app purchase that removes ads. I didn't bother looking deep enough because I'm like, just make it clear to me. Just if you want me to buy your shit, give me an ad-free version up front, make it clear. So, but it looked kind of cool.
Is this a free game? I think this.
Which one?
I was just looking through my games. Oh, here, yeah. One that I really liked. It was really neat. It's called Please Touch the Artwork Too. And it's just a hand-painted hidden object adventure is how it's described. And you're fixing paintings with issues in it. But they're like based off of real art.
Okay, so
Yeah.
kind of like Pressure Wash Simulator, except not. Like the art restoration version of...
No, it's like you're a skeleton guy traveling through art that has issues in it, solving puzzles.
Oh, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a really short game. I think I played it in like less than 2 hours, and it was satisfying, to say the least. Yeah,
I dig that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah. What else did I? There was something else that I was gonna pick up because Oompa was playing it, and I'll have to spelunk through my YouTube history a bit to find it. But like I said last week, that's just all of my game itches come from watching YouTubers play games these days.
Honestly, I can 100% get that. We started watching our GTA 5 RP again, and the big one that's getting popular now that all of our people are playing on is called Onyx, and there's actual food trucks in this one. And like, even when I was playing for the short time on Ignite, there's in Los Santos, there's hot dog vending carts all over the place, and I've wanted even since then just to like have a character with a hot dog cart. And watching it there, and I'm like, oh man, I want a hot dog cart so bad.
That's super fun. This is the Muck. It was called Muck. It's kind of like Uber Survival Minecraft.
Oh.
Except not like blocky at all, but similar in terms of like there's crafting.
Mm-hmm.
But literally like every night it's like waves, so every night gets harder. And on the higher difficulties, it looked like really properly difficult. I was gonna grab it, but it was like $30, and I'm like, that's maybe a little much. But it looked super cool. I was gonna pick it up. It's on my wish list now. So yeah, next time it goes on sale, Steam will email me, and I'll be like, "What the fuck was that game? I don't remember putting that on my wish list." As is tradition.
Yep. Well, Chad's not here, so I will share his story. He got Cat Quest 3 last weekend and loved it. It seems to be a lot shorter than the first two games, unfortunately, but he also just like played the hell out of it and finished it in the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought it on Xbox, which I don't know why he did that to begin with, because he got them on PlayStation originally, the first two games, and so when he finished, he was on PlayStation scrolling through the games, and he was like, oh, I should have gotten it on here. And I'm like, I told you so. So then he bought it on there.
Of course.
And then he bought the pack of all three of the games on Steam. So now I can play them all on Steam Deck.
Oh, hang on.
When he likes a game, he likes a game.
Yeah. Chad is the ideal customer for game studios. So how much is the trio, and do you get a discount if you already own the other two? You do, yeah.
Yeah, you do? Okay. I wasn't sure, because the first one was only like $4, and the other two in the package was like $25 or something like that. Yeah,
so the bundle for me right now, because I own the other two, is $21.50 Canadian. Yeah. $21.57. And the third game on its own is $25.99.
Yeah.
So it's $3.50 cheaper to buy it. And apparently I have money in my account right now. I don't know why I have Steam Wallet funds. That's weird.
To buy Cat Quest, apparently.
Apparently. Here, have some money to buy this game we know you want. Wouldn't it be great if Steam worked that way?
Wouldn't it be great if we were like sponsored by that developer? Just because we love their game so much.
Let's reach out.
Honestly, we should.
Hey, we've got like 10 average viewers. You should sponsor us. I would play a marathon of this.
100%.
Maybe I will just email them. Hey, if you give me a code for your $25 game, I'll do a marathon of all 3 on stream.
With only bathroom breaks.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, I love Cat. I'm going to pick it up. I didn't pick it up last week because I just didn't have time to play much of anything this week, but it is very much on my list because the first 2 were so good.
Yep.
Oh, I'm yawning. That's okay. I think we're actually pretty much at time anyways, if I'm not mistaken. We've been going for 30 minutes, and we weren't going for very long before we started.
Oh, all right.
Well, is there... Oh, we were going to...
Just talk... Today's Friday. Tomorrow's Saturday for us. We're going to get together, and we're going to play some board games. So,
what are we going to play?
Well, I pulled out Stardew Valley.
I figured we'd play that because you haven't played it yet.
Yep. I forgot we had it, but when we were at Origins, when we bought those t-shirts at Tea Turtle, we got games as well, each of us. And so I pulled out Wrong Party. It's still in its package. I'll bring that. We may or may not play that. I don't know.
All right. Cool. Yeah, Stardew Valley I'm excited to play, mostly because you haven't yet.
Yeah.
It's a good game, and I am looking forward to playing it because it's a good game.
Yeah.
But also because I know you've had it for a while and haven't been able to play it.
Yeah, I've started like a game on my own a couple times, but I can only play it on the floor at home, and it gets tiring sitting on the floor.
Yeah, shouldn't be a problem to play on our table. It's big enough.
Yeah.
And that'll be fun. And then the only other game we have that's new since like that we haven't played other than like we've got the pandemics and stuff, but I shouldn't have said that fucking word. It doesn't matter. We've got Frosthaven, but I doubt we'll start that up with the 3 of us just because it's a fair bit of setup and everything.
Yeah.
But someday when the 4 of us are here, we will play some Frosthaven.
Because I know Chad's been interested in that one too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. Very cool. Yeah. So we'll play some Stardew, and we'll see how Sarah likes it. You can catch up with that next week.
Yep.
I think we'll probably wrap it up there and say thank you for watching, and we will see you next week. And maybe Chad will be with us. We love you, Chad.
Bye.